Hello everyone and welcome to this video about working on yourself first. But what does this mean? Starting with your own well-being, being a parent of a child who falls under the umbrella of special needs is very demanding. This can involve learning disabilities or even mental health needs. As they say, you can't pour from an empty cup, and there is no use in feeling bad about having an empty cup. Because by doing this, you're only adding suffering to the pain. Just accept it for what it is at the moment, as a temporary state, and think about little steps you can take to start filling up this cup. It's usually more sustainable to take little steps at a time than doing a big step all at once. Often, parents feel guilty about the idea of self-care. You need to become aware of this and take a moment to think whether this is serving you or your child. Well-being is a very broad subject. It involves things like your health, your emotional well-being, or your energy levels. Changes you can do to improve this are improving your sleep. I have a video on sleep hygiene that you might find helpful, and also about bedtime stretches. You can also make changes to your diet and consider the use of supplements. Make sure you reach out if you're struggling. Isolation is a very common problem for parents of neurodiverse children. There are many difficult feelings and challenges that can arise from parenting a child with special needs. And many parents don't know anybody who can relate to these experiences. If this is your case, consider having a look at your local area for any support groups or any services that support people with your child's disability. Also, there are a lot of online support groups where parents can share their worries and ask for advice. Another aspect you can work on is your knowledge. You can't do any better than you know, but you can learn to know better so you can do better. There is a lot of information that you can find, especially online, from YouTube videos to free short courses or books. As with anything, taking smaller steps is more sustainable. For example, you can start by watching my other YouTube videos or watching YouTube videos on a specific subject that you might be struggling with. For example, you could search a few videos on sensory needs and put them on tabs so you can watch them or even just listen to them while you're doing something else, like cleaning the kitchen. Our attitude is really important. It really affects how we approach our children and how we parent them. For example, quite often, some parents and even some professionals have this attitude that this person has X diagnosis and therefore they can't do this, or they're not able to understand that, and they leave it like that. In other words, they are giving up on them. While it's important not to set unrealistic expectations, keeping them too low and not even teaching them skills can deprive our children from learning opportunities. One very common subject where this happens is toileting. Many parents and even some professionals think that an individual with severe learning disabilities cannot learn to use the toilet independently. This isn't true. It's harder and it takes longer, but in the vast majority of people, this is possible. Imagine the difference of learning this one skill has in someone's life. Imagine that you were not able to take yourself to the toilet independently, that you were depending on somebody else for this task. How different would your life be? How more vulnerable would you feel? Other unhelpful attitudes are not accepting our children for who they are, or feeling embarrassed about their behavior. We may also blame ourselves for our child's behavior. In this case, the first step is becoming aware of these thoughts. The second step is thinking, is this serving us? Is this helping us? The third step is, if we decide that this thought or this attitude is not serving us, is thinking, what could we do instead? Perhaps we don't know, but if we don't know, how can we learn? Can we ask someone? Can we search the information somewhere? Can we learn something new? So this is the end of this video. I hope you found this video interesting and that it got you thinking, and perhaps you thought about some little changes you could do to start filling up your cup. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. If you like this video and think that others can benefit from this content, please like, share or subscribe. It all helps me reach more people, and I'm sure it can make a big difference to many families. Thank you.